This is the story of one man's intense relationship with God and of how God moved a nation through him.
We've read the book about Evan Roberts, and we've studied it for actually years, and it's affected our church.
I didn't know very much about it, to be quite honest. You know, I've heard about revival, but I didn't know the details.
In 2 weeks, everybody in Wales was talking about him. In 2 weeks, his name became a national name in Wales, totally unknown. In 2 months, the world was talking about him.
Pastor Kevin Adams has spent nearly 25 years researching and studying the history of Christianity in Wales. He has focused on the life of Evan Roberts and the Welsh revival of 1904. His extensive research took place at the University of North Wales, Bangor.
What makes this video special is that we celebrate now the 100th anniversary of the 1904 revival, and 100 years later we are going to hear what Evan Roberts himself says about the revival. Lots of the things he said in letter, in diary form, are published, but you can't get them anymore. They're not in print anymore. And we're putting them together so that we're having a diary of revival. We want to illustrate this story by using contemporary photographs, as many as we can get hold of. And that's something which hasn't been done in any detail. There are many books on the revival, many out of print, of course, by now, and many photographs hidden, as it were, in many of these books, in different archives. We want to use them to give another dimension so that we can see the people involved and hear their words. We're seeing something of the man himself, his development, how he thought at that time, and that's exciting.
He didn't start by being a great preacher. He started by being a man committed to God, working in the coal mines. And it encouraged me, because I worked in the secular world, worked in marketing. And it used to be, when I was in the secular world, every day I wanted to make a difference in those that I worked with. And when I read that every day he would stand at the gate of that coal mine and give a word to those people, it just encouraged me that that's the kind of person God really uses. Somebody who's not maybe a big name, but somebody who really cares about people.
Hugh Friday is a professional Welsh classical singer, performing both in opera and concert work around the world. His work is extremely varied and includes the role of Piangi in London's West End production of Phantom of the Opera.
Music, for me, as a Christian, is a means of expressing my faith and my love to God, and also sharing my faith with other people. And I think in essence that's really what this project is about. Dymagariad is probably the most famous hymn to come out of the Welsh revival. It talks about the love of God, the amazing love that God has for his people.
He had such a passion for the Holy Spirit, where he said, "Bend me, Lord, break me, make me, mold me. I lay myself down as a sacrifice to you." And that's what he did. And like I said, the evidence and the results were amazing, and it affected the world. And that's what we're praying for, our state and in the States. But it started here, so we're praying, bend us, Lord, break us.
He shows us that God can use anyone. God can use someone who people don't expect could be used. This man was 26. He wasn't uneducated, but he wasn't a professional. He was still in school. He was a miner. He'd been a smithy. And yet God comes and uses him. As he opens himself out to God, God does something special, which has repercussions, not just in Wales, not just in Loughor, not just in Britain, but throughout the whole world. It's an encouragement that God can use anyone.